Every crisis has a moment when the organization has to speak. Not when it's ready, not when it has all the answers. When silence stops being an option. I'm Anne-Marie Hurk. For 30 years, I've been in those rooms, and I've seen how organizations that do everything right still lose control of the outcome. This is episode 5 of the first 20 minutes. Let's start the clock. Minute 15. Something has to be said. Not because everything is clear, it isn't. Not because the organization is ready, it never fully is at this point, but because silence has stopped being an option and the people outside the room are already drawing their own conclusions. This is when the first statement gets forced. And this is the moment that will be remembered longer than almost anything else that happens in the next 48 hours. Not because of what it says, because of what it signals. Here's what I've seen happen in this moment more times than I can count. The statement comes out too small and in the wrong voice. Not because the people aren't writing it aren't capable, because the statement was written to satisfy the room, to get legal comfortable, to avoid saying anything that could become a liability, to hedge every claim until nothing is actually being claimed. And what comes out is careful, precise, legally defensible. And it reads like nobody's in charge. That's the damage, not the information, the signal. Because the people reading that first statement, customers, regulators, journalists, board members, employees, are not evaluating its legal precision. They're evaluating one thing. Is someone actually in control of the situation? Vagueness doesn't protect you. It answers that question and not in your favor. Wrong tone does the same thing differently. When a statement sounds like it was written by committee, hedged, passive, emptied of any human voice, it tells the people outside the room that the organization is managing its exposure, not managing the situation. Those are different things, and people can feel the difference immediately. So here's what the first statement actually needs to do. It doesn't need to have all the answers. It needs to demonstrate that someone is in command, that the organization sees what's happening, is taking it seriously, and is in control of its own response, even if the full picture isn't complete. The acknowledgement without overcommitment, clarity without false certainty, a voice that sounds like a person, not a policy. That requires 3 decisions to be made before minute 15 arrives. First, what posture are we taking? Are we acknowledging, investigating, or containing? Each one sends a different signal and requires different language. Second, who approves this statement? Not who drafts it, not who reviews it. Who has the final authority to say it goes out now in this form? Third, what are we willing to be held to? Because whatever you say at minute 15 becomes the anchor. Every subsequent statement gets measured against it. And if the situation evolves, and it will, you will be asked why your position changed. The first statement sets the standard you will be judged against for everything that follows. Most organizations treat this as a communications task. It isn't. It is the most consequential decision of the first 20 minutes. Because if you don't get to unsay it. You can update it, you can clarify it, but the first impression of whether someone is in charge, whether the organization sees the gravity of the moment, whether there is a human making decisions, that impression is set the moment it goes out. In the next episode, minute 20, the first 20 minutes are almost over, but the decisions made in them will shape everything that follows. The last episode is about what you carry forward and what it costs you if the structure wasn't there from the start. If you wanted to find your statement posture before, take the diagnostic. Link below.